What's going on, everybody? I'm back with a brand new video for my Omi homies. In today's video, I'll be talking about Omi's recent price action. We are back on the rise. I'll also be talking about TikTok's new NFT announcement, along with my reaction to yesterday's VeVe AMA. So stick around, there's a lot to talk about. If you like the content, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get into it. We've had a nice green day in the market over the last 24 hours. Omi is back up nearly 10% at the 0.0057 mark. This, of course, is in line with the rest of the overall market, which is also up pretty much across the board. Bitcoin up nearly 10%, Ethereum up 10%, Cardano up a little over 6% at the time of this recording. And why is everything up? It's because September is over. If you watched the channel a couple of videos back, I was talking about the likelihood of us seeing a good buying opportunity for Omi and other crypto at the end of September, and that's because of Bitcoin options expiring, along with the House of Representatives vote on the infrastructure bill. That happened yesterday. Added to all that was, some China FUD, which is expected. It happens all the time. So that is all behind us, and now the market can move forward. And before we move forward, don't forget to smash the like button if you like the content. It really helps get this small channel more exposure. We are nearing 1,000 subs, closing in on 900 at the time of this recording. So also subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter handle linked below. We're going to get into some TikTok news along with yesterday's VeVe AMA. But before that, I wanted to talk about this piece of news where Fed Chairman Jay Powell said that he has no intention of banning crypto. In earlier comments, he had mentioned how CBDCs could potentially replace private crypto, but now he says that he had misspoken. Now, when I first heard the story, I totally disregarded it because, of course, everyone knows that the federal government is not going to ban crypto, all right? So it really seemed like a non-story to me. But then I thought about it, and I thought, everyone doesn't know that the federal government won't ban crypto. There are a lot of people who are naive or just uninformed about the whole space there. And there are a lot of people who think that it's a real possibility that crypto will be banned in America. There are a lot of smart people who question, if, these coins are legitimate and will be here. And so this is an important story because hopefully it gives, some people who are on the fringe, who are on the outside of crypto, gives them some reassurance that yes, this is a legitimate space and no, Bitcoin is not going anywhere. And yes, there is a lot of money to make in smaller coins like Omi. And then there were a couple of other NFT stories this week that I thought were really interesting about the entire NFT space. First, Twitter exec shares a sneak peek of NFT profile verification. So now on Twitter, users' avatars would get a check mark similar to the blue check mark given to verified Twitter users. So there are a lot of people on Twitter who have a CryptoPunk or a Bored Ape as their avatar, and now Twitter is going to be verifying those that are real and legitimate. And to me, this is another step for the entire space. Because as NFTs get more integrated into our everyday lives and more integrated into our social media experiences, the whole space gains legitimacy and the whole space grows. And that is good for VeVe because remember, my long-term thesis is that NFTs are here to stay. And VeVe has the IP and licensing to be a dominant force in the space. So to see a company as big as Twitter and as prevalent as Twitter take a step to verifying people's NFTs on their site, this is bullish for the whole space and for Omi as well. What's also bullish for the NFT space is this. TikTok announces an NFT collection led by top creators. So TikTok is launching a non-fungible token collection that will see its top content creators partner with top NFT creators. The newly announced TikTok Top Moments will feature 6 culturally significant TikTok videos as one-of-one NFTs from creators including Lil Nas X, Rudy Willingham, Bella Poarch, Curtis Roach, etc. Gary Vaynerchuk also. We'll also see artists like Grimes creating limited edition NFTs that celebrate their viral videos. And all of this will be powered by Immutable X, the same layer 2 Ethereum protocol that VeVe is migrating to. So what does this have to do with VeVe and Omi? I'm glad you asked, because on the surface it has nothing to do with VeVe. They're not talking about VeVe NFTs on TikTok, but this has everything to do with VeVe because it's all about the NFT space going mainstream. TikTok has 1 billion global users. Now we're going to have 1 billion people who have exposure to NFTs. 1 billion people being introduced to this technology. And the majority of these people are younger people. A lot of teenagers, even preteens, people in their early 20s. All of these people are going to come of age during a time when NFTs are normal, when NFTs are just, another digital asset. For older people like myself or some of my friends or family members, it's really hard to wrap our minds around why someone would want or pay all this money for this digital asset, right? For a picture of a digital picture of a CryptoPunk when you could just download the image and throw the avatar, up as your profile pic. Why would you spend that kind of money? It's hard for older people to understand these things because we didn't grow up with these things. But now as younger people are being introduced to them at an earlier age, it's going to be just another thing, a normal thing. They're going to be assets that are investable. They're going to be things that they use in social media, things that they use with augmented reality in their video games. So while the TikTok news is not directly correlated with VeVe and with VeVe's NFTs, it's important for the whole space because as NFTs continue to go mainstream, the entire pie grows. And as the pie grows, VeVe's piece of the pie will grow. And so to me, this is just another step in the evolution of NFTs, and it's a big step. But now let's get back to some VeVe news because as always, there is so much VeVe news. This past Thursday, there was another Marvel Digital Comics drop, Amazing Spider-Man number 361. And these covers are dope. We have another first as Carnage is unleashed in his first appearance. Of course, this coincides with the new Venom movie release. This is another great drop, and I'm sure it will be another sought-after comic. And then the James Bond digital collectibles made their debut on VeVe this morning at 8 o'clock a.m. We get a collection of iconic props, gadgets, posters, and vehicles from the 25th James Bond film, No Time to Die. So a lot of different types of drops coming out now, and also more frequent drops, which will lead to more Omi burns. Now let's talk about yesterday's AMA on Twitter, and I really love these because it gets a lot of information out to the community. So for starters, they cleared up the FUD. There was that information that came out about DC possibly leaving VeVe to join another company, but they clarified this saying we have a multi-year contract with DC, so they're not going anywhere. every brand aims to license their IP to multiple partners. And personally, I didn't get worried when I saw that DC had released some other NFTs someplace else, because I knew that there had to be something more to the story. If they had left VeVe, I'm sure VeVe would have leaked that information. So this is an important reminder that we can't get too worked up without having all of the information. They also addressed the NFL Players Association, who recently partnered with another company to release digital highlights, saying that we expect to see companies diversify as the industry grows. Also stating that they have not yet announced their sports category, and a lot is in the works. I'm really excited to see what they do with the NFL Players Association. Then they talked about the idea of degrading comics and the idea of a black hole, saying that they're still very conceptual at this stage and they're just ideas, they're not on the roadmap. And I was really happy to hear that, because the idea that digital comics could degrade if you read them, to me that's just absurd and it defeats the purpose. You know, one of the perks of having an NFT version of the first Marvel comic ever is that you can actually read it, right? If you had the physical copy of it, you're not going to read that because it will degrade. And so here you finally have a version of it that you can read. To me, the idea of degrading it just to create some manipulated value is, not a good idea. So I hope that just stays as something that's conceptual, that never comes to life, even though I don't even collect collectibles. Now, they also said that an app update is coming and that there won't be any more switching between collectibles and comics. These will be merged. I think that they are in need of an app update. The app is still clunky to use. It's not very intuitive. And if they are going to be a big brand, they need an app that reflects that. So good to hear that an update is coming. Also coming is Showroom version 2. This is going into testing next week, and they're getting very close to releasing it. In terms of the immutable migration, phase 3 of the migration will see token swap options, and they'll be releasing further information in the coming weeks. First comes migration, then interoperability, and they'll release an initial list of collectibles that will be interoperable before release. They also talked about cash out gems, gem to fiat, saying that they have passed all of the regulatory requirements. Now they're 40% of the way through integration with their banking partner. So they're down to the final piece, and maybe they have a couple more weeks to go. Then I believe the plan is they take it to the test net and test it out with a small group of people before rolling it out to everyone. So there will still be some time before we actually get to that. Omi Homie Foster Hilt asked, with the continued increase in the VeVe user base, should we expect to see an increase in the amount of editions dropped on collectibles? And the response was that yes, if the audience scales dramatically, there will be a bit of an increase. But they won't scale too high because they want to maintain the value and collectability. Then in regards to the VeVeVerse, this was really cool. They say that they are planning to build out renting capabilities for people who own land. So you will be able to rent out your land and space for a watch party or a concert, but this will be a much later addition to the VeVeVerse. So we have to remember that the VeVeVerse is going to develop slowly, and the first iteration of it will not be what it looks like a year from now. It will constantly be adding to it. They're also looking into options for creators to expand what people can do in the VeVeVerse. What you purchase from other users, maybe avatars, have the option to download a template, maybe memes. There's a lot of work that they're doing and a lot of things that they're thinking about. So all good things happening, but remember that these things take time. The VeVeVerse is still a long way away. We're not going to get it until sometime in the year 2022. And then the version that we do get of it is still not going to be the fully fleshed out VeVeVerse. So with any investment, patience is required. We need to be patient, and there will always be bumps in the road. You can guarantee that, especially in technology. They're not going to get things right the first time. So, we expected Immutable to happen a month ago, and we still haven't gotten it. All right, and when we get it, we still have to wait for phase 3 to transfer the coins. So we have to be patient. Now, with that being said, all good things are happening, and I do thank you for coming through and watching the video. If you like the content, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel on your way out. I hope you all have a great weekend. As always, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe. I will see you in the next video.